Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan here for today on the show. I mean, what can I say? We're starting the week in the most badass, epic way possible because we're having back on the show the incredible, amazing, the badass superstar, the one and only Mireille. Mireille, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, what better way to start a badass week than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean? This is fantastic. But anyway, all right, so welcome back. It's super to have you here. Thank you so much for making this happen. I also want to thank those who are tuning in. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, helps a lot. But also, on the description below, you're gonna find I love Mireille's social media. Let's follow her. If you haven't by this point discovered why she's super badass, in the description you're gonna find the previous episodes. So you can be like, I get it now. Now, without further more, let's jump in. So for today, it's a total new activity. It's basically like, what do you think? Like, how do you think the whole entertainment industry would be in the next 10 years, right? Now, with that being said, I will start with the first question, which is, with the rise of streaming platforms and on-demand content, how do you foresee the future of traditional cinema over the next 10 years?
Good question. I think that streaming platforms have kind of changed how people consume content. People tend to prefer the convenience of watching films at home, which I think could maybe potentially lead to a decline of theater attendance. But also, traditional movie theaters are also enhancing their experience as well with, there's IMAX and D-Box and stuff that can't really be replicated at home. So 10 years down the road, I think traditional movie going can see some competition with streaming platforms, but I really don't see it completely shifting to online platforms.
So yeah, couldn't agree more. I do think as well that, I mean, when you go to the cinema, you are going there for the experience, right? And I think that experience will stick forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's no distractions. When you watch a movie at home, you might get distracted by something, but you're in the theater,
Totally.
you're just gonna sit there the entire time and really focus on what you're watching. So I don't see that completely going away.
Totally. And it's also great when you see the reaction of other people in a specific scene, or perhaps when it's a premiere that you will see people dressed, as some of the characters for that film. So yeah, I do think that for the experience that will stick forever. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I like it. And how do you think advancements in technology, like deepfake AI and virtual reality, will influence the acting profession?
I think that definitely makes room for new forms of storytelling and kind of character creation. And I think VR can also allow for a more immersive experience where actors kind of have to perform in an entirely digital space. This could change how performances are created, which kind of offers both opportunities and challenges for actors.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's scary, right? The whole thing, and a couple of some months ago, with the whole strike and everything, and I mean, it's challenging, and it's kind of scary to know that, that at some point your face will appear basically everywhere, at some point, or that you will appear in the background, or you will appear in the, like, there's no limit to it. So, yeah. All right. Now, with many actors transitioning to roles behind the camera, as directors or even producers, do you see this trend intensifying in the future?
I think so. I think a lot of people that just have a love for filmmaking just want to do every job possible when it comes to that kind of stuff. I think too, as long as actors kind of gain more experience and insight into the industry, many will kind of want to tell their own stories and kind of do it from behind the camera instead.
Would you be like, have you ever thought about the idea as well, for you, like at
Um,
some point direct or produce?
I think I'd like to write, but I'm still just starting into the whole acting thing, so I'm kind of still exploring that. But I think down the road, I think I would like to get into more of the storytelling part of things. Who knows?
Yeah,
We never know.
right? Maybe at some point you will be writing the next top horror film or something like that,
Maybe. Maybe.
I like it. That's
Yeah.
pretty cool. And as the world becomes like more environmentally, I hate that word, conscious, like how might the industry adapt in terms of film production, practices, and on-set sustainability?
Yeah, I think we can expect production to kind of use more sustainable materials and try to cut down on waste as much as possible. Um, Plus, we could start looking for ways to kind of offset the carbon footprint that they're leaving and choose maybe locations that could be more environmentally friendly, I would say.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, I've heard a bunch of times that when like when you were like on set and everything, there would be like a lot of plastic bottles, you know what I mean? Like all of those things, and somehow everything has changed like a little bit, and now it's better if you bring like your own bottle, and
Mhm.
it makes like a little bit more. I mean, at the end, if we don't take care of our planet, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Do what you can. We can't save everything in one day, but little things matter.
Yeah, yeah. Start with little baby steps, basically.
Exactly.
There you go. Now, how do you think the role of film festivals will evolve, given the increasing accessibility of digital platforms for showcasing your talent?
Well, with digital platforms, it kind of makes it very easy to share films. I think festival could try to focus more on creating kind of an experience and like networking opportunities. They could become more places for like filmmakers and audiences to kind of connect in person while still being able to showcase some films online. And festival could try also to highlight maybe more diverse voices and talents that might not get as much attention otherwise.
Mm, mm-hmm. Do you anticipate, sorry, a shift in the type of stories and narratives that will be popular or prioritized in the next decade?
Um, It's a good question. I think so. I think we would see a shift more towards diverse and inclusive stories. I think people are wanting to see more narratives that kind of reflect different cultures and experience and different people's perspectives. Plus, like with everything going on in the world, I think that these types of subjects around like social issues and mental health could take more of a focus.
Mm, yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I do hope that somehow we can stop doing remakes and we
Yeah,
can start,
recycling the same stories. Like there's tons of people
right?
out there with good original stories. So if
That's
they
the
could
thing
have
here.
more, yeah, opportunities.
And when you hear the budget they will put to those remakes, you're like, are you crazy? You can put like yeah, like much less amount to a new project, and who
Mhm.
knows? I mean, we have seen it like multiple times that they will release something new and it ended up being a hit, and
Yeah,
they
exactly.
transform it into a franchise. For example, I remember when the film, when the first John Wick came.
Hmm.
Kind of nobody paid attention to it too much, but it was an incredible film. People started to watch it more. They loved it, and they released a second one. Now it became a franchise. You know what I mean? That they're gonna release even like a new one with a new actress and everything in the same universe. Things like that, and you're like, you see, it is possible. Of course, that it's taking a risk, but I think that especially
It's
at
worth
this
it.
time,
It's
it's it.
worth it. Yeah.
Take it. It's cool. Take a risk. Do it and we will see what happens. Also, with the film Terrifier, they took a risk with a new project, and
Yeah,
it's now
that was a low budget horror movie that they started with and people
and it
loved
became yeah, it became mainstream. Basically, the whole world watched it, so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
it.
So we'll see. So just please stop doing remakes, basically. And yeah. Now with mental health, becoming a prominent discussion, do you see the industry adapting practices or policies to support actors and crews' well-being more effectively?
Yeah, I hope so. I think we might see policies that promote like healthier work environments and better access to mental health resources and just have more awareness about the subject in general.
Mm. And what do you think about the idea about this whole, like this whole the show must goes on? You know what I mean? That I mean, the other day I was having this conversation, and they brought like an interesting topic, meaning that at the end, like creating a film costs money,
Yes.
and like all of that, it costs money. So sometimes you can't stop because if
Hmm.
you do, you know what I mean? It's like a 50-50 thing here
Yeah.
going on. You know what I mean?
But I think if somebody's just having a bad day, I think it doesn't take anything to just ask, how are you? Are you okay? Like
That's
little things
true.
like that. It doesn't cost any money. It could take maybe an actor or actress is not feeling great for that one take, and you take a 5 minute break to just kind of address the problem, and then she could feel better. So you're
Mm-hmm.
maybe stopping for 5 minutes, but then maybe her performance will be better in the long run if you just take the time to just address it rather than ignoring. But I do understand, like if it's like a bigger issue, then I don't know. I think it's a you take it
No.
case by case.
Yeah, yeah, it's a little bit complicated, I would say, somehow. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So, yeah,
case by case. It depends on the situation, I would say.
totally. Totally, totally. And, how do you feel about the rise of short form content? Like what we see on TikTok or even YouTube. Like, do you think that this will influence the type of content produced or the length of the films and TV shows?
Um, I think short form content like that definitely has its place. I myself love to scroll on TikTok and stuff, but I don't think that people will lose interest in full feature length films. Um, for example, do you remember the app Vine?
Mm-hmm.
Vine. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so Vine
I
started
got it.
with the concept that it was only 6 second videos and that was it. And eventually that kind of died out. And TikTok started the same way with the it was just short little videos, but then eventually they introduced the 1 minute video and then the 3 minute video. And now I'm seeing full length films being shared on the app as well. So while it might seem that everything is kind of shifting towards that, I really don't think that that's the end for feature films.
Do you think that somehow we're living, like, yeah, do you think that somehow the trend, yeah, like the whole trending things and everything is like a
Mhm.
circle? That it started with
Yeah,
something new, but somehow you ended up in the same thing as you were previously started.
exactly.
Because as you
Exactly.
mentioned, it's true, with Vine, it started and then somehow it has progressed to kind of to make it like a little bit longer, with everything. And
Mhm.
when you think about it, it's like we are back again.
Exactly. So I think, like again, like I think full feature movies will always have its place. It always comes back. So
Mm.
yeah.
That's true. That's true. And do you anticipate any shifts in how actors are trained or educated for their careers in the future?
Yeah, I think so. I think with digital platforms kind of becoming more popular, there could have more like training programs that might start incorporating sorry skills related to like social media. And there could also be a greater emphasis on mental health and well-being and training. And that could kind of help actors navigate the pressures of the industry. Because, back like when I was younger, I took acting classes, but there was no like how to talk in interviews or what to post online or that kind of stuff because the online presence wasn't really that important. But nowadays, what you have on your socials is important. I mean, casting directors will ask for your Instagram and they want to see what kind of content you post. So training in that area, I think, would be really important.
Hmm. Yeah, I think yeah, that's true. It's important to move, especially, in those type of careers that you need to move on how the whole technology is going forward, especially now with social media because, it's easy now, with some models that I have spoken with. He told me that it's now much easier because you don't have to bring like a portfolio. You just
Mhm.
bring
Yeah.
your Instagram and they can see everything on it and, take a look to it. And a producer told me also that they do, even for a quick second, but they ended up checking your social media to see what this person is, what they have, well, like what, like what they have done in the past, things like that.
Mhm.
So it's important. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And as global politics and social issues, become more intertwined with entertainment, do you see actors taking more activist roles in the future?
Yeah, I think there's more awareness with social issues, and there's already many actors that are using their platforms to kind of advocate for causes that they believe in. I think that could lead to more of like a collaboration between artists and activists, and that could create more of an impactful narrative that drive kind of social awareness and action. So I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. But what do you think at the same time about the canceling culture? Because I mean, I do think that there's a lot of actors out there, or even musicians as well, who they might think different or they want to, deliver like a message here, but due to the whole canceling culture, they kind
It
of
is,
think about it twice.
yeah, it is difficult because even if you don't say anything, then that's bad too, because it's like, well, you're not using your platform for this, or this actor didn't mention this cause, or so even if you say nothing, people can get angry at that as well. So it's hard. I don't think there's like a perfect answer for it. So I think if you believe in the cause, speak, like talk about it. If you don't, don't.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing here. I mean, I find it interesting because it's true. If you don't say anything, it's wrong. But if you say something, it's wrong.
It's wrong too. Exactly.
So, and at the same time, I mean, apparently you are free to say whatever you want, but at the same time, you're not free to say whatever you want.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's a tricky one. So I can understand why some, some actors out there would prefer to just look the other way, and just to leave it as my thoughts, my beliefs are for my own,
Mhm.
and what I do is totally different thing, which somehow it is. I mean, at the end of the day, acting it's a job, so
Yeah,
you know what I
exactly.
mean.
Mhm.
So yeah, interesting. Now, given the competition and influx of content, do you think that it will become easier or harder for new actors to break into the industry?
I think both. I think it could be harder for new actors to break into the industry just because of the increased competition. But there's also more accessible ways to get noticed. So, like now many auditions are done through self-tape, so it makes it a lot easier to submit yourself to multiple opportunities. Like you don't have to travel. The casting director is not going to only see, 20 people that are in the area that people can submit from around the world. So, and even you can post yourself on TikTok and somebody sees you, right? So there's an opportunity there. So harder in the sense that now more people, there's more competition, but easier in the sense that you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
Yeah, I mean mm, it's what I think, that yes, it's easier, but
Mhm.
but in the end, time will tell if you are up for if you are truly passionate about it or just
Mhm.
wanted to
Yep.
try for a bit. I do think that that happens like most of the times, when something becomes trendy and then people want to try
Yep.
a specific career somehow. Eventually you see those who really are who are really gonna stay, and those who were just really trying out to see what the fuss is about and then move to something
Yep.
else. So
Mhm.
hmm.
I think a lot of people don't see like they kind of glamorize acting. Not that it's not fun. I absolutely love it, but it's not for everybody. I don't think it's what everybody thinks it is.
Totally.
Mhm.
Totally. And uh, what do you think about the role and importance of critiques and film critiques?
Mhm.
Do you think that that will change in the digital area where basically right now everyone can be a reviewer?
I think while everybody can kind of share their own opinions, I think professional critics may focus on more of an in-depth analysis than maybe a casual viewer might miss. Um, Myself, I find a lot if I'm watching something and it's really confusing, I'll find myself Googling, hey, like movie ending explained or whatever. And I'm happy to see that there's so many reviews and so many different perspectives on it. So I think both professional critics and everyday viewer kind of will coexist. So you can kind of see if you wanted just from a casual viewer's perspective or a more in-depth like analysis into the story, you kind of have both options.
Hmm. Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. Do you for example, do you have like let's say like like whenever you want to know about a film or something, do you have already your reviewers that you usually watch, or do you sometimes like to explore new ones here and there?
No, I think I don't have like specific ones. I just kind of read multiple
Mm,
ones and kind of see
yeah.
which one I like best. But no, I don't have anything specific.
And at the end, do you ended up watching that so you can have like, oh, or you're like, because they're saying that might be wrong, might take like a,
Yeah, it depends. It's mostly for movies that have like kind of an open ending that it doesn't really explain what it is. So
Mm,
I kind of want to see how other people will interpret it, or if it was explained and I just didn't catch on to it, that happens as well.
totally.
But
Yeah,
mhm,
fair enough. And my last question,
mhm.
so we can all enjoy and relax. And I'm pretty sure you know what this question
I have
is.
an answer prepared this time.
I love it. So what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
A new era of cinema.
The new?
A new era
A
of
new era of cinema.
yeah.
You got it. You can prepare. I love it. And I mean, at the end, I think that, that a lot of things are gonna change, and I think it's important. I mean, but at the same time, I think that as long as we stay kind of optimistic to it and kind of embrace change, things change all the time. I mean, that is one thing that my previous boss told me one time that I was pretty angry about things changing, and he was like, "Well, things change, so you better either suck it up or,
Yeah. Hop
you
on.
know,
Yeah.
it is
It's
what
not
it is."
necessarily a bad thing too. Like
Yeah,
things
no,
change, sometimes it's good. So
totally, because you also get the opportunity to learn new things. I do think that is one thing that we might forgot, like the word, like whenever you get the chance to know more about something, even if it is a total new thing that might stick or might not stick around. But when you are able to learn something new, knowledge is power. And if you are man and if you're open to it, at the end also it hits way easier than if
yeah.
you want to be stuck in the past and be like, no, I don't want things to change. So
Yep.
there you go.
Totally.
I love it. And at the end, what can I say? It's badass to have you back here. It's super cool knowing that you're still out there rocking. Like every now and then, I will see what you're up to and see that you are, doing your work and looking for more here and there. I mean, that's badass, and especially in this era that people is just angrier than ever. The fact that we can see someone like you who is just doing it because you love it. That's pretty cool.
Thank you.
That's badass. So I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I also want to thank those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below, if you agree or not. And also, go follow Mireille right now on her social media. If you haven't by this point, go, you can finish this video. It's over now, so you can go follow her and make her viral. Hashtag Team Mireille. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep doing what you do. Keep rocking. Keep being super badass. And I'll see you in the next one.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.